Hey folks, Jonathan here, another day. Loaded up the Nash Ambassador and decided to bring it up to the shop so we could clean the engine and go ahead and maybe pressure wash the outside of the car, and I'm going to stick a set of temporary rims and tires on it. So that's what we're working on now. And I hear Charlie, a buddy of mine, pulling up. So anyway, slow start to the morning, but I finally got some wheels and tires together for this thing, and I'll show you what we done. Okay, so what we done was take the tires off of these Mustang rims and put some tires on it. These are a set of Ironman tires that came on a junk car, but they're like new and treads real good on them, but they're cheap tires. Anyway, our plans was to put them on the Nash, but one problem is Nash has an extra pin for a guide pin. Well, we used to cut them off. I didn't want to cut them off, so we was going to drill the hole here because the cap would cover, you never know it, for that alignment pin. But then when I noticed that the center hole was too small, that kind of messed us up. So the plans is I'm putting these on the 63.5 Falcon, taking the wheels and tires off it, and then we're going to put them on the Nash. So we're trying to get some tires and wheels on it and get it cleaned up today, and we'll see how that works out. Anyway, I'll show you what I'm talking about on that alignment pin. Okay, so here's an original wheel, and you can see these extra holes here, and they put them all the way around, but now you could get by with a rim with one on it. So we're going to actually put a hole in one of these, and just because I don't want to cut them off. I mean, I've done that in the past when I was young. You used to have these pins on a lot of vehicles. Old Fords, I'd seen them. I think I had an old Pontiac that had them. So right here it is. And so what I'll do is, we made a jig. I used this old hub. Took this old hub and I put it in the original wheel and then drilled it through the back side so we'd have a idea where the alignment was. And then I stick this hub back in the Ford wheel here. I drill it from the back side back here. This is an old hub that was off an old trailer or something. Somebody had tried to weld the lugs on, but or the studs in. But I'll go back through this hole and drill it, and that'll give me the hole I need for the pin. So that's the plan. And the tires we're putting on it are 14-inch tires. They're smaller and they're shorter than what would normally go on it, but at least we'll have it where it'll roll. Then we're going to clean this thing up and pressure wash it a little bit. And then we're going to try to get some of these dents out. Go ahead and see what we can do with this one, and especially this one. So just see what it looks like. What it looks like cleaned up, and well, like I said, put them wheels on at 14s. I don't think I've got any kind of hubcaps or anything, so we'll just stick them on. All right. Okay. So we're working on wheels, but this is a before. You can see it's kinked a little here, so that's not going to be perfect when it comes out. The biggest problem is this is two separate pieces, and I'll show you inside the hood. As you can see, that rib, so it's stretched. So we could cut a slice in it. Let me show you where. We could cut a slice in it, cut a little bit of it out, because it's stretched. Knock this up and then weld it back would probably be the best thing to do. If not, we're going to be trying to shrink something that's not going to shrink. So I think that's what I'll do. Yep, I believe so. I believe that's going to help us out a lot. Because if I try to knock that down, or knock that up, this is going to have to wrinkle. There's no doubt about it, because it's just not going to push itself back together once it's stretched like it is. So let's cut a little V in it right here where the lowest section is, and we'll allow that to come together. Let's see how that works out. Okay, so here's what I've done. There's the V, and you might want to go up just a little bit more, but that'll be a lot easier to weld this back together and grind it I can hide that easier than I can hide the bend. So let's see what happens here. Okay, now we got it where we want it. We don't want to over bend it because then it'll make even more of a mess. So it's ready for hammer and dolly next. You know, metal, the thing about metal, three things I try to remember is where the metal's at, where it needs to be, and where it's going to go when you hit it. You want it to go somewhere, but that don't mean it's going to go there. But you got to have some kind of control over it, whether it's the direction you hit it or what. But you got to remember that when you're doing anything with metal like this, you don't want two things. You're shrinking it or you're expanding it. And if you can make it expand the direction that you want it to expand by like relief cuts or, you know, in any particular way, that's what you do. And if you sit and think about it just a little bit before you start, you know, it's not that bad of a deal. And like I said, it's not perfect, but it is out close enough to dolly. I don't want to, you know, overstretch it because shrinking it's going to be way worse than straightening it out where it's at. So I think it's going to actually work out really well. So the hood's not too bad. Not perfect, but not bad. So we'll see if we can tackle that roof next. Probably gonna have to, I know we're gonna take the headliner out. It's hanging down anyway. I don't know whether I'm gonna cut it or not, but we're gonna figure out how we're gonna do it, and then we'll get started on it. Get this thing washed up and cleaned up a little bit. Then wheels on it. All right. Okay, so we got a pilot drilled here, and we're gonna check it out and see if it fits. I went the exact size, so if I'm off at all, I'm gonna have to go a little bit over, but we're gonna try it. See what happens. Well, I'll be done. It's in the right spot. We just might have to go a little bit bigger with it, huh? Yeah, it looks like it's going all the way. Is it going all the way now?
We'll find out.
I think we absolutely hit it perfect. By luck. It wasn't by skill. We just hit it good by luck. All right, that's good. Oh, already looks better with wheels on it. I like it. All right. Okay, we will officially have 4 wheels and tires with air in them all the way around. So, holding up good. No issues there. I didn't have any 14-inch hubcaps, but I did have Chevrolet caps. Pickup truck Chevrolet fit on Ford wheels. But, you know, this is basically the predecessor to AMC, I guess, Rambler. You know, Chevrolet hubcaps, Ford wheels. It could have came factory that way. Anyway, so like I said, we got the hood out, what we need. We're going to do the top. We're also going to get some cleaner on this thing, see if we can wash it up a little bit, make it look a little better. And then hopefully that this engine's going to turn out and run good. And we'll see what happens. All right. Okay, pressure washed. Probably needs to do it one more time, but it sure looks a lot better. I don't know about the Chevrolet hubcaps though. Anyway, he's going to do a little bit under the hood, and then we're going to get to work on this roof. And then we're probably going to call it quits on this one until we get some parts. All right. Alright folks, we have got this pulled out as far as we're going to pull it, or pushed out, and the rest, like I said, will be hammer and dolly work. So it actually came out pretty good. Came out better than what I actually expected it would. It's not perfect, but like I said, I don't want to stretch it. Once you stretch it, which I'm sure it's already stretched a little, but it makes it that much harder to work with. So both sides are up, the hood's up, so that's all the dents so far. Got it pretty good. We still got our jack in here. We was using some jack and a block. My portifier, the ram on it's leaking really bad, so we was using a jack and that to get it up. So anyway, we cleaned out a little, loaded under the hood. We got quite a bit cleaned to block. Now, we couldn't find the dipstick tube. It probably originally does go on this, but this one is the wrong one. It's got to be, because there was never one on it. You can see a little hole there, but I don't see that it was ever anything attached to it. So that's not a good thing. So that means they couldn't tell how much oil they had in it. So we'll find one, the correct one, or try to get somebody to measure it, and we'll make one, or whatever we've got to do. And then we can, like I said, just hope that the bottom end's good in it. If nothing else, I'll just be out sometime and the top end gasket set. But everything cleaned up pretty well under here. We found the VIN number, so it shouldn't be bad to do a bonded title. We found the engine serial number, of course the car, the frame serial number, everything. So everything's looking good on this one. I think she'll clean up good and come out all right. I was kind of surprised to see the pink paint under on the radiator. That's Noah's favorite color. His underwear pink, he said. So anyway, some glass cracked and broke, but this is simple, easy flat glass. And I got somebody actually that really wants this car bad, and it's my son. He's been looking for a 4-door. He was actually wanting a Cadillac or something like that, but he was looking for a 4-door to be able to drive. And he don't want to. He wants to drive like I drive the 59. I don't think he was worried about paint and all that stuff. He just wants something together to be able to take the cruise in down there and just ride around in. And this one's going to need floors. Is it leaking too?
Yeah.
Well, my ram's leaking, but my looks like my what's up? It looks like everything's missing in it now. Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got no luck with porta-powers right now, so this is an old porta-power that I don't even know where it came from. So, looks like we've got a good pump. We're just gonna have to get a good cylinder and the jaws for it, I guess you'd call it. But anyway, I need to have one around here, and I borrowed Charlie's a few times and gave it back to him, so don't need to be doing that anymore. But here's the body tag. Engine numbers are up here on the front of the engine right here, and VIN number plate is down there on the frame. So we got all the good tags. That was really good. And you know, like I said, I don't want to chop anything on this car or do anything that's not really original, just because you never know where it's going to end up or what. That's why we didn't cut off them pieces on the wheels or on the hubs for them wheels to go on. We went ahead and drilled the holes in them. So, and we've still got the originals. So I mean, the originals will probably end up back on it anyway, but we needed something temporary on it with tires that would roll. So, all right, I think that's all we're going to get done on this one. Definitely going to have floors, and so we will go through and later on, and if we decide to, or if it stays around here or what, we can go through and bead roll some decent floors out. They're pretty flat except for the center hump, so they're really actually easy to do. If you're not worried about going back 100% original, they're really easy to do. So anyway, not too bad of a car. So anyway, there it is. Dents are gone. Appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, bye.
Bye.